The sun shone brightly over Earth as people went about their daily lives. Children played in parks, workers hurried to their jobs, and families enjoyed quiet afternoons. Everything seemed normal, but in the vastness of space, a dark storm was brewing. The Zinthari, a powerful alien race, had set their sights on Earth. They believed that humans were weak and unprepared for an attack. On the Zinthari flagship, Commander Varric stood before a massive screen displaying images of Earth. He sneered at the planet, confident in his people's strength. "These humans are nothing but ants," he declared to his officers. "They won't know what hit them." His crew cheered, their confidence growing as they prepared for war. Varric ordered the ships to move into position, ready to strike. Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Alex Hartman was leading a training exercise with his troops. He was a man of few words, but his presence commanded respect. His soldiers listened carefully, eager to learn. "Stay sharp, everyone," he said, his voice steady. "We need to be ready for anything." Little did they know that a storm was about to hit them. Just as the training was ending, alarms blared across the military base. Alex's heart raced as he rushed to the command center. "What's happening?" he demanded. An officer quickly replied, "Sir, we've detected multiple unidentified ships approaching Earth. They're attacking." On the Zinthari flagship, Varric watched with satisfaction as his forces unleashed a barrage of laser beams towards cities on Earth. Bright flashes lit up the sky and chaos erupted. Buildings crumbled and people screamed in terror as they tried to flee. Varric laughed, thinking that this would be an easy victory. "Prepare for ground invasion," he ordered, feeling invincible. But Captain Alex was not about to back down. As he observed the destruction on the screens, he quickly gathered his officers. "We need to organize a defense immediately," he shouted, urgency in his voice. "Get our planes in the air and prepare the troops for battle." As the planes took off, Alex's mind raced. He had trained for years for a moment like this, but nothing could prepare him for the chaos that unfolded. The Zinthari ships were massive and their weapons powerful. However, as the first wave of planes engaged the enemy, something extraordinary happened. The Zinthari beams struck the planes, but instead of being destroyed, the planes soared through the air, avoiding the attacks with remarkable agility. "What's going on?" Varric shouted in disbelief as he watched the screens. "Our weapons should be destroying them." He turned to his engineers, demanding answers. "Find out why our attacks are failing." Back on Earth, Alex noticed that his soldiers were fighting back with more determination than ever. "Keep moving! Stay focused," he urged. Each pilot felt the thrill of the fight, sensing that they were more capable than they had ever believed. As the battle raged on, their confidence began to grow. The Zinthari were caught off guard by the humans' resilience. Their attack strategy had relied on overpowering the weak Earthlings, but now they faced unexpected resistance. Humans were not as fragile as they had thought. With every successful maneuver, Captain Alex inspired his troops. They worked together, covering each other, and even managing to shoot down a few Zinthari ships. Varric seethed with frustration. "We cannot let these humans defeat us!" he roared. He ordered his ships to change tactics, attempting to regroup and launch a new assault. But the humans had tasted victory and were hungry for more. As night fell, the skies lit up with explosions, illuminating the chaos below. Despite the destruction, a sense of hope filled the hearts of those who fought. Captain Alex felt a surge of determination. "We may be outnumbered," he thought, "but we are not outmatched." In the midst of battle, a new spirit emerged among the humans. They began to realize that they were not the weaklings the Zinthari thought they were. Instead, they proved to be resourceful, brave, and capable of fighting against the odds. As the first part of the battle came to an end, both sides were left shocked. The Zinthari could not believe their initial success had turned into chaos, while the humans discovered their own strength. The unexpected attack had set the stage for an epic showdown, one that would change the fate of both species forever. The Zinthari flagship floated in the dark void of space, a giant monument to the aliens' power. But within its walls, panic was spreading like wildfire. Commander Varric paced back and forth in the command room, his heart racing. The screens flickered with images of their initial attack on Earth, showing the destruction they had caused. However, it also displayed the shocking resilience of the humans. Varric clenched his fists in frustration. "What went wrong?" he shouted, his voice echoing in the room. "Our weapons are supposed to be unstoppable." His officers looked uneasy, exchanging nervous glances. They had never seen their leader this furious. One officer finally spoke up. Sir, the humans they are more powerful than we thought. Their planes are maneuvering like they know our every move. Varek's anger boiled over. I don't want excuses. I want answers. Get the engineers in here.
He needed to understand how the humans had managed to withstand their assault.
As the engineers arrived, they looked nervous under Varek's intense gaze. We need to analyze the data from our weapons, one engineer said hesitantly. It appears that the humans are somehow resisting our energy blasts. Their technology is different from what we anticipated. The commander growled. Different? How is that possible? We are the most advanced race in the galaxy. He took a deep breath, trying to regain control. Prepare for a second wave of attack. We will show them the true might of the Zinthari. Back on Earth, the news of the Zinthari attack spread like wildfire. People watched in horror as reports of destruction flooded their screens. But among the chaos, a spirit of determination emerged. Captain Alex and his team had rallied, preparing for the next phase of their defense. They knew the aliens were regrouping, but the humans were ready to fight back harder. On the Zinthari flagship, as the officers began to strategize, doubts filled the air. Commander, what if the humans are not as weak as we thought? One officer ventured. What if we underestimated their capabilities? The room fell silent, tension thickening the air. Varek glared at the officer. You're talking nonsense! We are superior! But deep down, a seed of doubt began to sprout. He knew they had lost more ships than expected, and the human response had been too fierce. As the Zinthari forces prepared for their next attack, Varek decided to send a spy drone to Earth. We need to gather intelligence on these humans, he ordered. Find out their weaknesses and exploit them. We cannot afford another failure. The drone launched silently into the night, headed straight for the battlefield. Meanwhile, Captain Alex was in a strategy meeting with his top officers. We need to anticipate their next move, he urged. They are not going to back down easily. We must stay one step ahead. The officers nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on their shoulders. They understood that their survival depended on their ability to adapt. The drone reached Earth and began scanning for information. It captured images of human technology and the soldiers preparing for battle. Inside the Zinthari Command Center, the engineers analyzed the data. Sir, it seems the humans are developing new strategies, one engineer reported. They are creating makeshift weapons and improving their tactics. Good, Varek replied, a wicked smile creeping onto his face. Let them believe they can win. It will make their defeat even sweeter. But as he spoke, a nagging feeling tugged at his mind. What if the humans truly were invulnerable? What if they could defeat the Zinthari once and for all? As the Zinthari prepared for their next assault, panic gripped the lower ranks of their forces. Soldiers whispered among themselves, their faith in victory shaken. What if we are not strong enough? One soldier asked. What if the humans turn the tide? Back on Earth, the atmosphere was electric with hope. Captain Alex and his soldiers were determined to show the Zinthari that they were not to be underestimated. They worked tirelessly to improve their defenses, crafting new weapons and training harder than ever. They shared stories of bravery and resilience, reminding each other of the stakes at hand. As night fell, the Zinthari launched their second wave of attack. They aimed for key locations on Earth, hoping to strike fear into the hearts of the humans. But this time, the humans were ready. Captain Alex had anticipated their moves and prepared countermeasures. As the skies lit up with flashes of light, a fierce battle erupted once again. In the chaos, the Zinthari realized too late that they had awakened a sleeping giant. The panic among their ranks only grew as they witnessed the fierce determination of the humans. The battle had just begun, and the outcome remained uncertain. But one thing was clear. The Zinthari had underestimated their foes. The battle raged on, lighting up the night sky with explosions and flashes of energy. Captain Alex stood at the command center, watching the chaos unfold on the screens. His heart raced with adrenaline, but he remained calm, focused on the task at hand. We need to take the fight to them, he announced, rallying his officers. Let's show the Zinthari what we're made of. His team nodded, their determination shining through their fear. They knew the odds were stacked against them, but they had proven themselves capable. What's our plan, sir? One officer asked. How do we attack their flagship? Alex pointed to the map on the screen, which displayed the Zinthari formation. We need to split their forces. If we can lure some of their ships away, we can focus on the flagship and take it down. The officers quickly began formulating a strategy, their minds racing with ideas. Meanwhile, on the Zinthari flagship, Commander Varric was becoming increasingly frustrated. His forces had expected to crush the humans, but the unexpected resilience of the Earthlings was baffling. "Prepare for another assault," he ordered, slamming his fist on the control panel. "We will not be defeated by these insects." The Zinthari ships moved into formation, ready to unleash another barrage of energy blasts. But this time, the humans were ready. Alex's forces launched their counterattack, flying into the fray with renewed vigor. They dodged incoming fire and shot down several enemy ships. The humans had turned the tide, and the Zinthari were caught off guard. As the battle escalated, Alex received a report from one of his pilots. "Captain, we've identified a weak point in their flagship's defense. If we can get close enough, we might be able to disable their main weapons system." Excitement surged through the command center. This was the break they needed. "Good work." "Let's move!" Alex shouted, his voice booming with confidence. He assigned a small group of the best pilots to make the risky maneuver, knowing it could turn the battle in their favor. "You all know what's at stake. If we can take down their flagship, we can send a message to the rest of their fleet." The pilots took their positions and prepared for the high-speed attack. They flew through the chaos, weaving between enemy ships and explosions. The adrenaline coursed through their veins as they approached the massive Zinthari flagship. The tension was palpable as they prepared to fire. Back on the flagship, Varric noticed the incoming attack. "They are coming for us!" he yelled, alarmed. "Prepare to defend! Focus all fire on their lead ship!" The Zinthari crew scrambled to follow orders, but the humans were quicker, and their determination shone through. As the humans launched their assault, a fierce dogfight erupted around the flagship. The pilots used every trick in the book to outmaneuver the Zinthari forces. Alex's heart raced as he watched his team work together, executing their plan with precision. The humans were proving to be far more skilled than the Zinthari had anticipated. One of the pilots, a young woman named Mia, led the charge toward the flagship. "I'm in position," she shouted over the radio. "Get ready to fire on my mark!" The tension built as she locked on to the weak point in the ship's armor. 3, 2, 1, now. With a steady hand, Mia pulled the trigger, releasing a powerful blast that struck the flagship's main weapons system. The ship shuddered, and alarms blared throughout the Zinthari vessel. Varric's face twisted in horror as he watched the damage unfold. "No! What are they doing?" he roared, realizing that the humans were not the weaklings he had once believed them to be. As the flagship's weapons began to fail, the humans pressed their advantage. Alex called for an all-out attack. "Let's finish this! For Earth!" he shouted, igniting the fighting spirit within his troops. They surged forward, taking down more Zinthari ships with each passing moment. The Zinthari forces started to retreat, realizing that their once confident attack had turned into a desperate escape. The humans cheered as they shot down the last few remaining enemy ships, their spirits soaring high. They had fought back and shown their strength against the powerful aliens. As the dust settled and silence returned, the humans took a moment to breathe. They had faced overwhelming odds but had emerged victorious. Alex looked at his team, pride swelling in his chest. "We did it," he said, his voice filled with disbelief. "We fought back and won." But even as they celebrated their victory, Alex knew the battle was far from over. The Zinthari would not give up easily. The tide had turned, but a greater challenge lay ahead. The humans had proven themselves strong, but they would need to remain united and vigilant. The real war had just begun. The victory over the Zinthari flagship sent waves of excitement across Earth. Captain Alex and his team were hailed as heroes, their bravery sparking hope in every heart. But in the shadows of their triumph, the Zinthari were regrouping, their anger and humiliation fueling a deeper resolve. Commander Varric was not done yet. He had a plan to turn the tide back in his favor. On the Zinthari flagship, Varric paced back and forth in the command room, his mind racing. "We cannot allow this defeat to stand!" he shouted, his eyes blazing with fury. "We underestimated the humans, but we will not make that mistake again. Prepare to launch a full-scale invasion." His officers looked at each other nervously. "Commander, if we attack again, we may lose more ships," one officer warned. "The humans have proven they can fight back." Varric silenced him with a glare. "They won't expect our next move. We will strike at their most vulnerable point, their communication centers. If we cut them off from each other, they will crumble." Meanwhile, on Earth, Alex and his team were busy planning their next steps. They knew the Zinthari would retaliate and were working hard to strengthen their defenses. "We must secure our communication systems," Alex urged during a strategy meeting. "If we lose contact with each other, we'll be sitting ducks for another attack." Mia, the young pilot who had led the charge against the flagship, raised her hand. "I can lead a team to reinforce our communication centers. We need to make sure they are protected," she said, her voice steady. Alex nodded, appreciating her initiative. "That's a great idea, Mia. We need our best people on this." As Mia and her team set out to strengthen the communication networks, they felt a sense of urgency. They knew they were in a race against time. Each minute spent preparing was crucial to their survival. Mia focused on every detail, making sure that no part of their defense was overlooked. Back in space, the Zinthari forces prepared for their assault. Varek's strategy was simple yet effective. "We will hit them hard and fast. They will not see us coming," he declared, his officers nodding in agreement, though some still held doubts in their hearts. The Zinthari ships launched in a coordinated strike, moving stealthily through the void of space. Their goal was clear: destroy Earth's communication centers before the humans could react. As they approached, Varek felt a surge of confidence. This time, victory would be theirs. On Earth, alarms suddenly blared across the military base. "Zinthari ships detected! They're coming for our communication centers!" shouted one soldier as panic set in. Alex and his team rushed to their posts, adrenaline pumping through their veins. "Mia, we need you in the air now," he ordered, his voice steady despite the chaos. Mia sprinted to her fighter jet, quickly climbing into the cockpit. "I'm ready!" she shouted as the engines roared to life. She felt a mix of fear and excitement as she took off into the sky, joining her fellow pilots to defend their home. The first wave of Zinthari ships appeared on the horizon, and the battle erupted. Energy blasts lit up the sky as the two forces clashed fiercely. The humans fought valiantly, trying to protect their communication centers from being destroyed. Mia flew her jet with skill, dodging enemy fire while taking down Zinthari ships one by one. "Focus on the communication centers," Alex shouted over the radio. "We cannot let them get through." The humans fought with everything they had, determined to keep their lines of communication open. But the Zinthari were relentless. They pushed forward, determined to breach the defenses. Varek watched the battle unfold, a twisted smile on his face. "This time, we will not fail," he yelled, motivating his crew as they pressed the attack. Mia's team worked tirelessly to fend off the Zinthari while trying to fix any damage to their systems. "We can't let them win!" Mia shouted, rallying her fellow pilots. "We have to hold the line!" Her passion ignited a fire in her team, and they fought harder than ever. Despite the mounting pressure, the humans refused to back down. The Zinthari had underestimated their resolve and courage. Each time a Zinthari ship fell, the humans felt more empowered. But Varek was not finished. He unleashed a secret weapon, a new kind of ship designed for speed and destruction. "We will crush them once and for all!" he roared, his eyes gleaming with malice. As the new ships entered the fray, Mia felt a chill run down her spine. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned. But in that moment, she remembered the spirit of humanity. They had fought back against impossible odds before, and they could do it again. With renewed determination, she rallied her team once more. "For Earth, we cannot give up!" The battle raged on, and both sides fought with everything they had. It was a turning point for humanity. They had shown they could stand against the Zinthari, but the fight was far from over. As the clash continued, both forces realized they were locked in a struggle for survival. The outcome would determine the fate of Earth and the Zinthari Empire. The battle raged on, fierce and relentless. The air was filled with the sounds of explosions and the cries of soldiers. On Earth, the humans fought bravely to defend their home. Mia and her team of pilots flew through the chaos, their hearts racing with determination. They had faced overwhelming odds, but they refused to back down. As the fight continued, Captain Alex gathered his team in the command center. The mood was tense, but they had to stay focused. "We have taken heavy losses," he said, his voice steady. "But we have also shown the Zinthari that we will not be defeated. We need to think of a plan to turn this battle in our favor." One of the officers spoke up. "What if we use their own tactics against them? We can create a diversion to draw their forces away from our communication centers," he suggested. Alex nodded, impressed with the idea. "That could work. If we can lure them into a trap, we can take down their new ships before they get a chance to attack." Mia, who was listening closely, chimed in. I can lead the diversion. I know how to maneuver in and out of their formations. If I can get close enough, I can lead them right into our ambush." Her eyes sparkled with determination. Alex smiled, proud of her bravery. "All right, Mia, you take the lead. We'll coordinate with the ground forces to set up the ambush." With their plans set, the humans prepared for one last push. Mia climbed back into her fighter jet, her heart pounding with excitement and fear. She knew the risks, but she also knew that failure was not an option. As she took off into the sky, she felt a surge of hope. The battle might be fierce, but they had each other. The Zinthari fleet was focused, their new ships glimmering in the darkness. Commander Varric was eager for revenge. "This time we will crush them," he shouted to his crew. "We will not allow the humans to escape. They will pay for their defiance." As the Zinthari ships advanced, Mia executed her plan perfectly. She flew into their formation, dodging energy blasts as she weaved through the enemy ships. "Come on, follow me," she called out, leading them deeper into the trap. Her heart raced as she felt the thrill of the chase, but she kept her focus sharp. Once the Zinthari were drawn in, Alex gave the signal. "Now!" he commanded, and the ground forces unleashed their firepower. Explosions erupted as the humans ambushed the Zinthari ships, catching them by surprise. The tide of battle began to turn. The Zinthari ships struggled to respond, their formations in disarray. Mia watched with exhilaration as her fellow pilots took down enemy ships one by one. "We did it!" she shouted over the radio, her voice filled with joy. But Varric was not finished yet. He knew he had to retaliate. "Fall back!" Varric ordered his ships, but it was too late. The humans were closing in, their determination unyielding. With every Zinthari ship that fell, the humans felt stronger. They had proven that they could stand against their oppressors. As the battle continued, Alex saw an opportunity. "We can take down Varric's flagship," he declared, and the humans rallied behind him. They knew this was their chance to end the fight once and for all. Mia led the charge, her fighter jet slicing through the chaos toward the flagship. With determination burning in her heart, Mia dodged enemy fire and maneuvered closer to the flagship. "This is for Earth," she shouted as she released her weapons, striking the flagship with everything she had. The Zinthari ship shuddered as alarms blared throughout the vessel. Inside the flagship, Varric felt the pressure mounting. "We cannot lose!" he screamed, but the humans had gained the upper hand. One by one, Zinthari ships fell and the humans pressed forward. Mia's heart raced as she saw the flagship begin to falter. With one final blast, the humans delivered a crushing blow to Varric's ship. It exploded in a brilliant flash of light, signaling the end of the Zinthari attack. The remaining Zinthari ships turned and fled, leaving behind the shattered remnants of their once mighty fleet. As the dust settled, the humans cheered. They had done the impossible. They had pushed back against a powerful enemy. The joy was palpable as they celebrated their hard-won victory. Mia and Alex exchanged proud smiles, knowing they had fought for their home and their people. But amidst the celebration, they also felt a new resolve. They had defended their planet, but they knew the universe held many more challenges. "This is just the beginning," Alex said, looking at his team. "We will be ready for whatever comes next." Mia nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "Together we can face anything," she said, a newfound sense of unity coursing through them. The battle had forged a new beginning for humanity. They had proven their strength and resilience, and they were ready to take on whatever lay ahead. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, the humans looked toward the future, knowing they were no longer just survivors. They were warriors, and they would always stand together, ready to protect their home and fight for their place in the galaxy.